This is what happened with my first day on Crimson Desert. I had to read this pamphlet in order to really analyze and discover how to make fish porridge. Imagine that. I had to actually read something. And then after I discovered reading, I then proceeded to find this really tall giant guy, and he said he needed iron ores. I was a little bit confused about how I was supposed to get this, but then I figured it out lickety split. The controls were a bit confusing and awkward, but I ended up getting the iron ores and gave them to his apprentice. After I got the iron ores, I chopped down a tree. And I really do mean chop down a tree. I spent my good, hard time chopping down a singular tree, getting the fine lumber, doing it in 3 sections, knocking the tree over, getting the tree in 2 pieces, then splitting the wood with an overhand chop and a side chop, which was really interesting because I didn't know the difference between the two chops, and I still don't know the difference between the two chops, and at this point, I've chopped down about 50 trees. Upon heading back, I then proceeded to go inside of a bar where some guy was just sitting there, so I walked up to him with the very awkward controls of pressing L1 and then pressing square, but I got used to those awkward controls really fast. And then I arm wrestled with a guy, and then I arm wrestled another guy, and then another guy, and I decimated them. And then I got some coins for arm wrestling. There was this weird jester guy egging me on the entire time, but it felt very bravado, very machismo, very masculine to do all these items, all these quests, all these little side tangents, but not to be outdone by what happened exactly after that, because I walked upstairs and then they had this whole system I had to learn. I don't gamble. I don't know about card games. I had no clue. I had to read this entire thing. They said you can figure out people's tells and do all this stuff. And it's this whole thing. And it has nothing to do with regular stuff. But I didn't even know if I was going to do good. So I just looked at the screen for a long time. I didn't know what to do with the screen. It was a lot of rules that I didn't really care about. So I just said, you know what? I'm gonna toss some money in. Hopefully I do some good. I was sweating. My chocolate starfish was clenched up. Didn't really know what to do. I had no clue. I had no idea. Then I just decided, you know what? I'm not a baby. Mama ain't raised no baby. Well, Mama did raise me as a baby because that's exactly what she did. I was a baby and she raised me. So I went all in. And through the luck of God, grace, and Almighty, I won. I won. And I walked away because I didn't want to risk all my money because I didn't have that much silver. I feel like money is a very expensive thing to think. But then I figured I need to put my money somewhere. Then I found this really opulent mansion. This very beautiful opulent mansion where a guy said I can open up an investment firm and get a bank and I can convert my gold coins to silver coins and my silver coins to gold coins. But I need to buy a bond first. And then I had to learn about banking because I didn't really know what bonds were. Didn't really understand that. But then I saw a bounty and I said, oh, there's bounties here. I wonder if I can get a bounty. I need some money so I can get some more money so I can go make a bank account. So I said, okay, maybe I can do some bounties. And then I discovered I'm going through this forest to get this bounty because the first one I discovered, I read the bounty, I discovered it, only to find out that it hit nighttime. I did all this before the nighttime, by the way. So I look up in the sky and I'm just enamored. I'm encapsulated by the beauty, by the splendor, by the aroma of the game. I am a small speck in the universe. I'm watching the stars in the sky twinkle. I'm looking at the aurora in the sky. It feels encapsulating. I've rarely ever felt so immersed in a game. I didn't even know how much time was passing. 4 hours of in real time passed. 4 hours passed. And then I decided to go to do more of that bounty. As I was going to the bounty, I kept getting knocked out by munchkins, the lollipop guild. Who are these children who are grabbing me by the feet and carrying me away? I didn't know what happened until I discovered a little girl. She said, oh, follow me. I can get you access into the village. So I said, okay. I'm discovering that I need access into the village in order to get this bounty because I want money. So I ended up doing this village. And then she says, hey, you got to get the crown off of the giant ant's head. And I said, okay. Get the crown off the giant's ant's head. That's perfectly fine. So I'm waiting for this ant. And I decided to climb up this mountain in order to see where the ant is. I just want to climb up the mountain to see where the ant is. And I'm looking over. And this is a real forest. There's like no path. There's literally no path. Usually most games, Skyrim has a path laid out, a road of some sort. No, this is like I actually walked into a forest. There is no paved path to go. And I am just in love with how beautiful the water looks. And oh my God, what is that thing? Oh my goodness. Oh, my oh, my heart went to my taint. Oh, it scared the crap out of me. He's not hostile. I just had to climb him Shadow of the Colossus style and get this thing on top of his head. And then I got access into the village, and then oh my god, I found him. I found the guy. I grabbed him, punched him in the face, and I began to walk him back to the village. And I'm thinking to myself, hopefully I can carry him on my horse because I don't want to walk 1,600 meters to deliver him back. And thankfully, I have the freedom to go on my horse and hog tie him back. And then I decided, wow, this game is beautiful. I'm going to go to church. And then outside the church, there was this bounty for a nun. And the nun was corrupt. And I was reading her description and discovering that, oh my gosh, she's evil. So I walked inside the building and I discovered that the nun is a horrible person. And I chased her down. And I'm really addicted to just walking up to people, punching them in the face and grabbing them. So I say, okay, I guess I better look at more bounties. And as I'm looking at a bounty, one of the guys I'm looking for decides to pickpocket me. I chase him down and I put him back. I don't even know if I got the money back. I have no clue. This was beautiful. And as I'm playing this game, I don't know what the story is. I don't know what the main quest is, but I'm not really sure I care about that at all. I was having so much fun just doing a bunch of nonsense. This is really good. Also, I helped a lady clean out her chimney, which was really fun. That was awesome. And I climbed a mountain because somebody told me to climb the mountain because he says he saw something cool up there. It was an upgrade material. And then I got destroyed by a bunch of flowers. I thought they were really pretty, and I just got destroyed by a bunch of flowers. And I wanted to see what people were saying about the game, and I messed up doing that. People are brushing past this game. They're dismissing it, deciding what it is before they let it be anything. And something about that bothers me more than it probably should. The game is Crimson Desert. It is slow, it is dense, it is layered, and from the very first moment, it tells you something that a lot of players do not want to hear. I didn't like it either. I hated it. I had to learn something new. And with our TikTok rotted brain, this is the worst era this game could have possibly released in, I think, with TikTok brain and people not having their own opinions about things before that. Nobody has their own opinion anymore. The game says, be here, be patient. I will not explain myself in the first 10 minutes. I will not grab you by the collar and scream, look how fun I am. I kept skipping tutorials. And then I said, you know, I actually got to go back and read everything. I have to go back and read everything. I didn't know how to jump. I had no clue. I didn't know how to pull out my stuff. I didn't know how to open my radio menu. I had to read the tutorials. I love skipping past tutorials. I can figure it out. Nope, not at all. You have to actually exist in the game. You have to let me breathe. This game made me feel like a baby, and I was learning how to walk for the first time, is the best way I can describe this. The environments feel alive, very alive. Alive in the way that things move at their own pace. Creatures wander. You'll find somebody. You'll say hello to someone. Weather shifts a lot. It was raining a lot. The world does not feel like it was assembled for my convenience because there's no paths. There's no path. Sometimes it's really hard to climb a mountain. It feels like it was assembled because the world exists that way. Everything is so... The systems are intentional. Every action has weight. You can't not just sprint. You can't just check boxes. You can't collect icons. You can't just move to the next glowing marker. The game is asking me to slow down, to learn, and to exist inside its rhythms instead of imposing my own. That is exactly how an isekai feels. I have never felt like I was actually in a world. This is the first time a game has actively done to me what the first 6 months of life has done to me. Made me feel stupid, like a babbling baby, until I discovered how to say dada. And I'm going to spend the next 18 years of my life trying to get up to the point where I can finally get a job in this game. Because that's exactly what the game is. I think the biggest wall people hit is the first few hours. What's going to do it for a lot of people, what's going to do it for most people? The awkward stretch. The first maybe 4-5-ish hours is awkward. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The only thing that I can really say is that the story is it's a fine story. I'm gonna give the story like a 7 out of 10. And it's not a bad. 7 is not average. 7 is above average. 5 is average. 7's above average. This game is definitely like a 9, maybe a 10. If I could be so real, like a 10 out of 10. If I could give it a real arbitrary scale, I'd say a 93 out of 100 is where I'm at with this game. Probably how it's going to be for the most of the game, because the controls bring down those points. The controls feel strange because they are not the same controls you have used in 15 other games this year. The systems feel unfamiliar because you have to actually learn them instead of being handed a tutorial that explains everything before you need it. You have to actually do things. And I knew this was going to be an issue because it does not hold your hand. I had to learn how to cook. I had to stand on top of the chimney and put my thing inside. I had to aim it and put it in there. I had to learn an entire card game. And it lets you figure this out. It trusts you. The game trusts you to find your way. And people are saying, well, is this an MMO? No, I think this is more than just an MMO as a single player game. This is a lot. For a lot of players, when a game trusts you, you feel abandoned. There's no yellow tape to guide you, right? There's no direct pathing. Because the game, this is the most direct example of an open world game I've ever played. There's like weird fast travel. You have to actually learn and get the fast travel. People expect instant comfort, instant mastery, and instant payoff because nobody knows what it's like to actually commit to something. People that have commitment issues are gonna hate this game. And I don't even blame you. I don't even blame you for hating this game because it's a lot. It is so much in this game. It's so much. But dismissing it as just mid or bad is insane. They want the game to tell them they are good before they have earned being good at the game. That's insane. You have to be good at the game. Learn how to parry. Learn how to deflect. Learn how to switch weapons. Learn how to actually play the game. Learn the systems. Learn to level up. Learn what health is. It's strange. When a game does not provide that, a lot of people bounce. They just bounce. It's just strange. That adjustment period feels like a lot of work. And I'm watching a lot of people play. I'm watching a lot of people beginning parts of playing the game, and I can see people wanting to drop it because it doesn't instantly give them the big boy numbers. It doesn't give them the confetti and all this other stuff. Attention span has become the silent killer of experiences like this. If a game does not validate your time within the first hour, people start questioning whether it was worth continuing. This is definitely I'd wager this is a $100 game. I've spent much more on games that give me significantly less. I'm talking about Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, by the way. I have spent so much more on games that give me so much less. This is the first time, but actually even more than Skyrim, which is crazy because I have beaten Skyrim over 412 times. That is not an exaggeration. I have a lot of mods, and I was also keeping track of all the times I beat Skyrim because I was doing a video, and the video's gone now because I got copyright striked and it messed up a lot. It was horrible. But people want games to hook you immediately. They want that reward, the feeling of progression. Guess what, buddy? There is no feeling of progression in this game. No, feeling of progression is you figuring out those controls, is what it is. That's what's happening. Crimson Desert is not built like that. It is built, it's like something really old. You have to commit before it reveals itself. It is so deliberate. And I think the game is trying to tell people that it is not disposable, so do not treat me like I am. It requires you to care about the game. You gotta care about it. Someone's gonna play 3 hours, struggle with the controls, feel a bit lost, and not click with the pacing. And suddenly, well, it spreads everywhere. It's gonna go through comments, through forums, through social media, and that's what's happening right now. Everybody is saying this game is not worth it. It's through the echo chambers that form around release every time. Thousands of people who have never touched the game, repeat that same opinion. I knew it was going to be mid. I knew it was going to suck. What's wrong with you guys? And then it's a bunch of game journalists who are famously bad at video games say, I don't know. It's not that good. It's not fun. I'm not really enjoying it. They wanted me to discover the entire world, and I've been in the first area for 40 hours, and there's a lot to do, but I want it to be done by now. I am flabbergasted by what I've read all the reviews right now. I've read them. I am flabbergasted by what I'm reading. The most common thing within the reviews is the game is beautiful, big, massive, it's immersive, the visuals are outstanding, the gameplay is great, it feels addictive, but man, story's a little strange, not really feeling the story, and the controls are a little awkward to get down. So, despite this game obviously being over 400 hours of experience, I'm 100 hours in and I've barely discovered anything. I'm gonna give this game a 7 out of 10 because, I don't know, if I spend $70 on a game, it should give me a brownie. It should give me a brownie. And then people read this, and then the experience becomes secondhand, filtered, distilled into a verdict that was never meant to be final. People would rather watch someone else decipher them than sit for the game for too long enough to understand it themselves. What's wrong with you people? It's a movie I saw a while back, and it had gotten a 3 out of 10 on Metacritic. Not Metacritic. Oh my god, I think it was IMDb. IMDb was 3 out of 10. And I said, that's interesting. Because I watched the movie and I thought it was great. And it was a fight movie, and it was basically fight. It was campy, it was dumb, it was awkward. It was good. And then there was another movie. It was a horror movie. It was a very strange horror movie. Mr. Crockett. It was a Mr. Crockett was enabled a horror movie. It was an awkward horror movie. Horrible ratings, mind you. It's more of an audience movie. Mr. Crockett. This movie's great. I love this movie. Mr. Crockett, campy, awkward, strange acting, super odd, a lot of practical effects. Creeped me out. This movie disturbed me. It felt like a YouTube movie, but it was really good. I enjoyed Mr. Crockett. Great movie. And I saw the reviews, and I discovered that people hated the movie. I discovered that, well, at least the reviewers hated the movie. They said, oh, acting's awkward and stuff. I think that was the point. I loved the movie. I thought it was fun. Reviews have become such a strange thing. I think they're supposed to inform you to help people make choices, but they often end up narrowing how people approach games or media or anything before they even start. Instead of curiosity, people enter with expectations already shaped. If a review says the game is slow, they go in impatient. If the controls are awkward, they go in expecting to struggle. The mindset changes the experience before it begins. The game is not even played anymore. It is being judged against a list of criticisms that may not even apply to how you would experience it. You lose the chance to discover, to stumble, to form your own relationship with something. You get handed a relationship that somebody else already had, and you carry their baggage into it. It's strange. And I think there is this obsession with the perfect game, right? Perfect game. And it has warped how people evaluate games or evaluate their time and patience. And I've discovered that no one is forming their own opinion. I think people just don't have time to form their own opinion nowadays, so they'd rather listen to a YouTuber, a diatribe about their entire opinion about something. They'd rather listen to somebody else spit their entire world about something. That's what they'd rather listen to than actually engage with a game. If something is not flawless, if it has friction, if it asks something from the player, it gets labeled as a problem, a flaw, a design failure. The idea that friction can be intentional, that it can serve a purpose, that it can make the experience richer in the long run, that idea has been entirely lost, I think. Because Crimson Desert is not perfect. It is not trying to be. It is trying to be full. And I saw a review, and it said, well, a lot of the open space has a lot to do. And I doubted that at first. I really did. But there is not a single section of open space where there is not something to do. I've never played a game like that. Usually it's just long stretches of nothing. Nope. Every 200 meters, there's something. Oh, there's something. It's detailed. It's expansive. It's packed with systems that reward time and attention. It is the kind of game that gives back what you put into it. And that kind of design has become rare because it does not cater to instant gratification. It does not promise you a reward every 30 seconds to keep you hooked. It trusts you to find your own reasons to stay. There was one other game I had the same exact beginning experience with. It was Red Dead Redemption 2. Those first few hours felt slow, very boring. It would have been easy to drop it, to move on to something that grabbed me faster. But I pushed through the initial friction, and what I found was incredible. A world that felt alive, meaningful, grounded. A lot of the best experiences in gaming work like that. They don't reveal themselves immediately. They build, they unfold, they ask for something before they give something back. And what they give back is worth the wait because you have to be willing to wait. It's It's so interesting to see people not willing to wait for something amazing. It feels like people want games to fail sometimes, especially when they're big, ambitious, or different. There is this strange energy where something popular or highly anticipated gets held to impossible standards. Every flaw becomes proof that this is not worth your time. Every rough edge becomes a reason to dismiss the whole thing, but Crimson Desert is worth your time. It is not trying to be disposable, it is trying to be experienced, it is trying to be something you live inside for a while. That's what it is. For me, it is one of the few games in a long time that actually made me feel something again. And not just entertained, not just engaged, something so much deeper, something that reminded me why I started playing games in the first place. The exact reason why I want to get immersed in these worlds. I am more than willing to sit with it, to learn it, to get lost in it, because that is what it deserves. And honestly, that is what I deserve too. I've been playing $70, $60, $50 for these games that don't feel like experiences. All these games cut short and instantly give me something that I don't care about. All these games that I've wasted so much money on, my crazy long Steam library of games that I'll never touch. I want to never put down Crimson Desert. A game that asks something from me. A game that trusts me to figure it out. A game that is not afraid to be slow, dense, layered, and real. This game is love. This is what love is supposed to feel like. Love is supposed to take its time and to hold your hand in the boring moments, in those awkward moments, in that weird beginning stage. That is love. And I have never felt love like this. Ever. Game will be here. Slow, waiting for people to stop judging long enough to actually see it. And I feel as though we should have a real conversation about that. This game, I love it. I really do. And I hope that if you have time, you decide to pick it up one day. If not, that's fine. I don't care. I hope this game smashes every sales record and it is worth the price of admission and investment for hundreds of thousands of people. I'm going to play this game for a long time. I'm going to make a 20-hour review about the game, and I'm gathering images. I'm gathering videos, as you saw in the beginning of the video. That's probably how the review is going to be a lot of the time, cutting between me standing and me using those clips to talk about the game. I'm actually writing a script for once. I never write scripts. It's been a weird experience, so it's my first scripted video ever. So yeah, let me know what you think about Crimson Desert. I'm pretty sure you don't like the controls or whatever, or maybe you heard a review, or maybe you just don't want to put that much time into it. Just let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm sure a few of them will piss me off, but I'd love to hear you guys. Have a lovely day or night wherever you're at. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
Your Nick and night be my lower slow. Happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. I love the ride when you're free.